We are going to go ahead and get into today's topic. This topic is actually a topic that came to me while I was just in my spin class. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Soul Cycle before, but Soul Cycle is the bee's knees, okay? And it is my new obsession. And so I was at my Soul Cycle class, and literally an epiphany just kind of came to me. And I really just wanted to do some content or video or podcast episode, whatever you want to call it, about how exercise and physical activity has strengthened my relationship with God. And it's so funny because I have always been kind of like a spiritual person, like always. Like I don't ever remember a time where I wasn't spiritual or I didn't believe in the power of God, the power of, source energy, the power of Almighty, the power of the higher power, or however you'd like to address it, Allah, whatever feels good to you, right? But I feel like when I am exercising or when I am really taking care of myself in the form of physical activity and endurance and, really pushing myself to the proverbial limit, that my relationship with God is strengthened. And I think it counts for something to have that conversation right now, because I think this might resonate with someone, and I think it might land on someone who may find it to be freeing or to be enlightening. So cool. As we all know, life is like hard, right? Like life be lifing, and that's an expression that me and my friends use all the time. But not only does life, but sometimes you can have moments in which you start glitching as a result of lifing. Hopefully you guys understand my language right now. I hope you guys are picking up what I put down. However, I have found that over the years, I've been someone who has dealt with anxiety. I have dealt with functional depression. And in those moments, I didn't know that I was dealing with those things, because I thought, maybe I'm just hungover, or maybe I'm just having a bad day, or maybe life is just sucky. But, after I really got into therapy as an adult and really looked into those things and really started to explore the reasoning behind a lot of things, I realized that I was high functioning and depressed, and I have anxiety. And once I was able to put a word or actual title to the things that I was feeling, I felt a lot better. However, on top of those things, I was going through actual other things, because life goes on, right? Like the merry-go-round never stops. So, dating, different difficulties in dating, different situations where I'm trying to find myself as an early 20-something, trying to really decide, who am I going to be? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? All of the worries that you have when you are at that stage in your life where you're trying to find yourself or establish yourself in your niche, or, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You're just trying to find your feet, child. Like, it's giving Bambi a lot in the early 20s. Because it's like you're trying to stand up, but them knees is wobbly, child. Like you don't know what you're doing. And so I was going through a lot, like during that period of time. I want to say I was about around 20, maybe like 25. Yeah, I feel like things started to get like really like, I started getting the thick of it around 25. And I was cocktailing at the club. I was sleeping till 3. I was dating guys that had no level of direction, let alone could not provide me any leadership. I was dealing with a lot. And I was head over heels in love with the chaos in form of people, in form of lack of direction. And when I say in love, that's not to glamorize it, because it was not a good space. When I say in love, meaning like I could not see the forest for the trees, okay? And I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say. Like I just was in the thick of it so bad, I could not see myself. I could not see out. I could not see up. I could not see down. I just knew that this is where I was. This is how I felt. And this is what I knew. until something happened where my heart was really like heavy and I had to make a decision about something, and I made the decision and I knew it was for the best, but I was really hurt about it yet and still. It was just so much going on at that time, and I had to disconnect from a couple of people and make a couple of decisions. And it was during this time that, due to my following that I was building on social media, that a gym reached out to me. And a gym, you know, a larger gym too. It was Gold's Gym over in Maryland, in Capitol Heights. And they reached out to me and they said, hey, you know, we're looking for some brand ambassadors. Would you be interested in coming and, you know, working out? And we'll pair you with a trainer. And the only way you repay us is by posting your workouts and promoting the gym. And I was like, sure, I need to get back in the gym anyway. Because for whatever reason, I thought at 163 pounds, I was fat. Okay. Let's also talk about the body dysmorphia that comes along with just foolishness, right? Like, you just, you know, as you change throughout life, you start to have these ideas that are completely opposite of what you're thinking it is. Like, baby, you think you fat when now I'm 177 and I feel the most curvaceous and beautiful I've ever felt. But then I'm also mentally in a different space. Anywho, we'll save that conversation for another day. But I go to this gym and I'm working out and I'm doing the things and I'm working with a trainer, and the crap is hard. Like, it's hard. And I was also processing through a breakup and a heartbreak at the time. More heartbreak more than a breakup, okay? Because situationships do be real. Anyway, so I found myself, there would be moments in which I would be working out and I would literally want to cry. Like, just burst into tears. And I think it's because, number one, I was hurting inside for a lot of different reasons. I was not well emotionally. I was not well mentally, but I didn't know that. I know that now in retrospect, but I was not well. On top of the fact that I was drinking really heavily, I was in the club a lot. You know, I worked in a club. You know, I'm receiving all these different people's energies on a day-to-day basis, but I just wasn't in an optimal space, okay? The 20s are ghetto, and the mid-20s are even more ghetto because, you know, it gets worse before it gets better. But in these workouts, I would be pushed so hard to like my physical limits that I would literally want to give up, and I would have to literally remind myself that I was okay. I was okay. If you could go through that heartbreak, if you could make that decision, if you could experience this level of discomfort, you can do a few more squats. You can do a few more hip thrusts. You can do a few more cleans. And over time, I found myself really excelling in the gym. I found myself really doing the things. I lost weight. I was pescatarian. My mental was clearer. And I felt better than I ever had felt before. And that was the first experience in the gym. And that was back in 2018. I was really like powering through, okay? And I was so sad, but I worked my way out of a heartbreak. I worked my way out of not feeling good. I worked my way out of feeling like the best has already came and gone. And I think it is very important for me to share this with you guys and say that I have experienced these things, because the things that I talk about on this platform and the things that I talk about on my podcast would suggest that all is well and all has been well, and that I just know all of these things. But I only know these things because I've learned them. I've journeyed through them. I could never share anything with you that I don't know for myself. I could never give anything to you that I don't know to be true, because that would make me fraudulent. And I have no desire to give you anything just to peddle it off. I am utilizing my platforms to share what I know to be true, and what I know can be true, and what I believe in. And that's why it's important for me to share with you some of my battles and some of my personal tragedies, because tragedies can range from small or large. I've had smaller tragedies, I've had larger ones, but with that has come knowledge, and I think I would be remiss to not share those things with you so that you can understand the full context of why I'm here and how I know what I know. The girl was down bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was not in my best space, but when I got in that gym and I started to really pay attention to the fact that I'm gonna be fine. If I can do this, if I can defy my muscles, if I could, experience muscle failure and come back again and work on a different area and those muscles fail me, and then I come back again and I do something else, and every day with more failure, there comes strength. Ooh, I don't know where that came from, but if I could explain to you that I have had rough times, I think that's the best way for me to put it. Thinking about that space that I was in when I stepped into that gym and was serious about it for the first time, I was not okay. I wasn't. I'm gonna be honest. To everyone who knew me, I was fine. To, the people who would, patronize the club that I worked at, I seemed fine. But I was not okay. I was not well. My heart was in shambles. And going to that gym and pushing through in one of my hardest moments was really transformational for me. And I think it's even more transformational now, where I am now, to be able to see where I was then. But it was transformational for me because I literally did not believe I was going to be okay when I first hit that gym. Y'all, I need y'all to understand, your girl is not athletic, okay? I'm not athletic. I've never been. And it's always an ongoing joke because I'm 5'10", and I'm pretty fit looking, but I've never been one for actual physical activity in sports. But when I walked in that gym, now that I think of it, it kind of saved me, because instead of sleeping in my bed till 3 p.m. because I'm depressed, and I don't know I'm depressed at the time, I had to go to the gym because I made an agreement that I was going to barter services. And in working out, I didn't believe that my body was going to be able to support me through this physical activity because it was hard. It was hard. My body was awkward. My form was bad. It was not good. But it would literally be moments in which I would have to tell myself, you will be fine, just one more. You'll be okay, just one more. You will be fine. It hurts. I know. Breathe through it. You'll be okay. And my trainer would encourage me in that same way. And we look at it like a very simple thing, right? But in that moment, because my life was the way that it was, and I was going through what I was going through, it was very parallel to my gym experience. You're sweating. Your body hurts. You want to cry. Your muscles are telling you no more, but your mind is telling you you can do it. And in regular life, you're tired. You want to sleep. You don't really know what you're about to do. You don't know where you're going. You have no real idea about how you're going to make it work. But your mind is telling you, just one more day. It'll come to you. And I think that moment in time, back in 2018, when I walked into Go's gym as a 25-year-old, heartbroken, depressed girl that looked seemingly fine on the outside, it was that moment that defined a lot of moments where I am now. I did not realize that that moment was going to come full circle for me, or that I was going to have any inkling of understanding or even thought about that particular moment until today, when I'm in my SoulCycle class and I am completely zoned out, working out on this bike, cycling, and I realized that Your wildest dreams are now. Your wildest dreams are now. And I realized that because I've always had this vision of myself going to an early morning workout class, working out really good, empowering through my day. And for a little Black girl from the inner city that didn't grow up with silver spoons, it's really giving your wildest dreams are now, baby, in the smallest form. Because to think about something and want something, no matter how big or small, and then one day you wake up and you actually have it, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. But then there's another thought that comes across my mind when I'm on this bike and I'm cycling and I'm listening to house music because I'm a house music fan. And I am living my best life for this 45 minutes in the cycling class that I paid $40 to do. And I know it's overpriced, but it makes experience so much more better, if that is even proper grammar. And the thought that goes through my mind almost knocks the breath out of me, because the thought is, it's just you and God. It's just you and God. It's just me and God. Nobody else. It's that moment when you are somewhere doing something and you feel yourself slip into the zone. It's like that was the first time in a while. And I think that's why I stand SoulCycle so much, because it was the first time in a very long time where I felt myself slip into the zone. When I'm in that room on those bikes, like I slip into that zone. Like, I know what the athletes are saying now, when you feel yourself just moving and you're not really concerned about too much other stuff. You're not thinking about what's going on outside. You're not thinking about what's going on to the side. You're not worried about what's going on in front of you. You just slip into the zone. And I was in that zone and I'm cycling and I'm in the vibe, and I look over to the side and I see that one of the young ladies in the class with me is slightly off beat. And it's okay, because you get tired and we all get off beat sometimes. But then the instructor says something that reminds me it's just me and God. Because she says, you know those moments where you feel like, oh my God, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? And you're just worried about it. You're frazzled. You don't really know what to do. Don't worry about it. It'll all come together. And when it does, you'll realize this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. Guys, I need to be very honest with you. This was not my selected piece of content for today. I planned on doing something completely different, and I was going to come to you in a completely different way. But in that cycling class, I was reminded that it's normal to be frazzled. It's normal to not understand always. It is normal to not always get it. It's normal to say, well, am I supposed to be doing that because that person's doing that? And am I supposed to be going faster because it's people in the front of the class that seem like they're doing better than me? And am I supposed to be this tired? Wow, I really want to sit down. Will people pay attention to me if I sit down? It's normal for you to have these thoughts in life as it relates to other life things. But it's just you and God. It literally is. It literally is. Because when you feel it click, it clicks. When you feel, oh shit, this is it, you feel it. You feel it, and it's there, and it's there for you in that moment, in that way, because it's yours. It's just you and God. There have been times when I'm working out and I'm like, oh my God, I am not going to be okay. And I have to remember, you're going to be just fine. It's just you and God. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter if they seem like they're doing it better. It doesn't matter if it seems like they're sweating less. It doesn't matter if it seems like they come here all the time. It doesn't matter if it seems like they're excelling past you. The fact that you made it here, the fact that you put in the effort, the fact that you keep showing up, that's all that matters. I don't know what it will take for you individually. I don't know what will spark that thought or awaken you in that way to remind you that no matter what it is that life is giving you, that all things are working on your behalf for enhancement or satisfaction. But I want to tell you that is it. It's gonna seem like everything's working against you sometimes in this life. Like, it's so janky, right? Like, it's gonna seem like sometimes everything is working against what you're trying to do. It's gonna feel like the wind is blowing up against you so hard, you wanna just go in the house, close the door, sit on the couch, mind your business, wait till it's over, right? But no matter how that feels, to show up to even open the door and look and say, wow, this looks intimidating, but I'm going to step outside. To show up and say, you know, I don't know if I'm going to look good doing this, but I'm going to try. To say, I've never done this before and I hate being wrong, so I don't want to put myself out there, and you do it anyway. I need you to remember that is an act of God, because it is courage beyond yourself. And when you display that, and when you try, and when you believe that tomorrow could just be maybe an eensy winks better, you give yourself an opportunity to live the life you deserve. I don't want any of you guys for a moment to think that any of this crap is supposed to be easy. I don't care what they're posting. I don't care what they're wearing. I don't care who they're dating. I don't care what they're doing. I've done a lot of this stuff. A lot of this fun, cute, aesthetic stuff. Done a lot of this stuff. And it's great. It's fun. But I've also felt a lot of real things. And I'm not ashamed about them. I'm going to share. I'm going to share about the things that might not be so glamorous. And I'm going to explain to you that this crap isn't supposed to be easy. Because who said that? Ease will be a part of your journey at times, but so will strength training. That's the best way for me to put it. Strength training is going to be a part of it, because that's what shapes you. It's what shapes you. I have had a lot of moments where I did not understand how to put things into perspective for myself. And I did not understand, what was needed for me to get to the other side of things. And literally all I had was my friends or my family to encourage me. And my willpower to just get up and try again, even when it was waning and I didn't have very much willpower. But I think today, I've realized that the gym helps me to put things in a perspective where it is parallel, and where I understand that things get hard, but then they end. Then they're not so hard. You're going to sweat, but then you get to shower. You're going to feel intimidated, but then you get to reign supreme. There is no dead ends. You will not always do well. You will not always look like the other people in the class. You will not always be the outstanding star. You will not always be the big fish in the little pond. Sometimes you'll be the little fish in the big pond. But all things are working together for your enhancement, for your satisfaction, for your grace, for your blessings, for all things meant to be good for you. And I just want to share that message with you. I don't know if it's going to be the gym for you. I don't know what it's going to be. But I know for me, I was reminded today while I'm on my high price bike that God loves me so much and adores me in such a way where I was blessed with that experience of remembering that no matter how hard it gets, I will be okay. And that even when I feel like I am supposed to be doing something else and what am I supposed to do and how am I supposed to be? God will send me that moment in which it just clicks and I slide into the zone and I'm there and everything works for me and everything aligns for me into the next moment in which I'm supposed to be enhanced. And then I get to look forward to the next time I get to slide into the zone. And so I don't know why your girl is mushy today, but I will let you know that I felt incredibly blessed to be able to drive my car to Georgetown, take a workout class with people who do not look like me. And I got to experience God in a way that I have experienced before, but not on the same level. I feel extremely blessed about that. And I just wanted to come and make this recording of sorts so that I could share that blessing with you and encourage you. And I hope that it does just that. So, hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.